What makes Japanese runners such marathon machines? They might not be born with Kenyan legs or Ethiopian lungs, but what they do have is an unbreakable mindset that lets them compete with the world's best. After nearly 2 years living here, I've seen firsthand the brutal discipline and insane dedication these warriors bring to running. We're talking a lifetime of 4 AM alarms and 50k long runs on a 1k loop, all in total silence. Today, I'm revealing their secret weapon, the marathon monk mindset. So at the moment, I'm on an elite training camp with some of Japan's fastest runners. We'd escaped the 40-degree heatwave in Tokyo and gone on a marathon monk retreat to the altitude monastery of Lake Shirakawa. With no distractions in sight, there was only one thing to do: pound those pavements into submission. I talked about the physical battle in the last video, but today let's dive deeper into tactics of mental warfare. If you stay till the end, I'll be explaining how I've adopted the Japanese mindset to unlock my full potential in the marathon, even if this approach does leave me unconscious at the finish. But first, let's see how the final few days in the wilderness went. Oh, so just finished up the Suzuki training camp part 1. We'd had the fartleks, the long hills, the intervals, cross-country course, all of that European stuff, and then we ended it with an old trusty classic, a 30k tempo, and we actually did that twice, a few days apart. First one, absolutely no problem, easy, 30k, just under 3:30 per k average pace. The second one I just finished now, same pace, but my stomach was in absolute bits. Took a little pit stop at 20k. I thought that would help, you know, dropping the kids off at the pool, coming out a kg later, but it just made my stomach even worse, so it wasn't the most comfy run. But apart from that one practice, almost every session out here has been a banger. I feel like I've improved so much. Just those 2 weeks made such a difference. But that wraps up the Shirakawa chapter. What a place, eh? Whew. Beautiful. Now the plan had been to roll straight onto the next altitude spot, but alas, there was a spanner in the works. So unfortunately, I've got to say a brief goodbye to the mountains of Nagano. I'm heading back to Tokyo now. Not looking forward to this at all. We've just dropped down about 700 meters to the nearest sort of train station. I'm sweating already. I can feel the humidity. I got so used to that cool air up there. So the Suzuki guys that I was with, they go on holiday now. They have a little break, like 10 days or so. I was meant to be joining this next team, which was actually one of the ones I was hoping that I could maybe join long term, like actually become a member of the team, but they've just gone cold on me. So it looks like that is off the table. But this is basically the constant battle I'm facing, trying to join one of these teams. Like, it's so tough, just trying to break down that barrier, wheezing my way in, you know, infiltrate the Japanese scene. I felt like I was getting places, but yeah, this one probably would have been the best shot as well, because they've got a big social media presence. They're trying to push their own YouTube as well. So I felt like I could have helped out on that part. But you know what? It's their loss. Tough luck, we go again. We'll keep trying to join one of these teams. That's my big mission at the moment. Now, as you know, I signed with Brooks recently, and this was obviously unreal to finally achieve my dream of becoming the least talented pro runner of all time. But actually, at the time, it felt like a bit of a disappointment. See, when that contract was in the works, Brooks was sponsoring one of the elite teams in Japan, and part of the deal was that I'd be able to join that team. To be completely honest, this was more important to me than the money and being able to make a full-time living from running. It would have unlocked the next level in the marathon, and it's performance over everything for me. But very unluckily, just before I signed with Brooks, they ended their sponsorship with this team, so that part of the contract fell through, and joining them was off the table. Now, I've had some people commenting saying they can't believe how it is this hard for me to join a team. Like, I've ran reasonably quick, 2:14 marathon, and I'm pulling in more views than any other running YouTuber in Japan. You'd think that combo could be reasonably enticing for any team out there. I feel like I could provide some good promo. But actually here, the social media is almost seen as a negative. Like, that's a massive warning sign, danger zone. You've got this foreigner coming in with a big platform. Like, I could be putting out anything on there. I could damage the company reputation. So they're so cautious out here. And I've heard that a lot of the big teams, like the traditional ones, they won't even let their runners have social media accounts like Instagram or anything, like YouTube, definitely not. It's just too risky. Like, everything has to go through the central company and get checked off. So even though I could give them massive exposure on my YouTube, like, for them, that just isn't worth the risk. And with my PBs, they're still rookie numbers compared to what I'd need to get on most teams. So if I was Japanese, Japanese, it would be fine, but because I'm a foreigner, yeah, each team can only have one starting foreigner on their Ekiden team, and the whole focus is Ekiden, so like 5K, 10K. That's the leg that the foreign runners run, and so every team, because of that, just has a couple of like world-class Kenyans that are running there. So I'd basically have to break the British record for 10K just to get on a team as their like starting Ekiden runner. Actually, on the Suzuki team that I was running with, I'm pretty sure my marathon PB was the slowest out of everyone. Like most of those guys had ran close to 2:10 or even under some of them. But in all the sessions, I was right at the front of the group. Like I felt like I was more than holding my own with these guys. So it shows that just give me the opportunity and I'm there. Like the improvement I can make, I think would be absolutely huge running with a good team. So it's all just a game of perseverance. I've got to keep just firing off emails, trying to use as many connections as I've got to try and join a team. I know eventually I'll get there, but actually it leads on quite nicely. This is a beautiful little segue here to the topic of today's video, which is the mental game. Diving deeper into the marathon monk mindset, how to overcome adversity, and what I've learned from nearly 2 years now living and training in Japan. Because I can tell you right now, it is very, very different to anything abroad. So from a very young age, the Japanese guys are taking it serious, like boys, girls, from pretty much middle school onwards. What's that, about 14 years old? They were saying they've been double daying every day. So running mornings and afternoon, probably hitting over 100 miles a week, 160K a week. From like early teenagers, they all do it. I saw it in Shirakabako, this training camp place. There was lots of other teams there, and you see 5 a.m. every morning, they're all up outside, just grinding out laps of the lake, usually in silence, just in line like this. And almost the younger the team, the more serious it is. It's weird. So like the sort of middle schoolers, high schoolers, they're like the bloody army there. It's like militant discipline. The coach is like the senior general there. He'll be driving behind them in a car or whatever, taking splits and everything, like noting everything down. But it means that the Japanese guys are switched on from young, and their mindset is just running's not a hobby. It's not really a bit of fun like that. It's more a serious job. And I actually just noticed something funny. So after sessions, like people would ask, oh, how did that go? And I might be like, oh, mecha tanoshikatta, like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I noticed people always laugh at that. And I suddenly realized I've never heard a Japanese person say that after a session, like, oh, that was a lot of fun. It seems like such a foreign concept to them. They can't believe that I guess that I'm enjoying it while I'm doing this. Because to them, it's just hard work. And with training, it's just about getting it done. Like, it's so monotonous, especially the loops they choose. So they do a lot of running around these tiny little loops. Even out in the countryside, like 1K cross-country loops, we did that 22K tempo run around. So if you're doing it on a 1K course, you can get exact splits, the exact same loop each time, so you can track paces easily. They can also hand out drinks and stuff on that loop, and I think it's just easier to kind of stay in order, and they just don't seem to get bored. Like we see it as, oh, if you're doing a 30K run, okay, you do one big 30K loop, because we want to keep it interesting. Like, yeah, running's not the most thrilling sport at times, especially when you're just grinding out long volume like that. But it doesn't seem to cross any of their minds. So I feel like it's quite a shift in mindset from what a lot of people in the West have. It's much more relaxed, much more casual. And we sort of see it like if you're enjoying your running, then you'll run better. But that is definitely not a thing over here. Performance can only come with monk-like discipline when you dedicate everything to your running. And they get in that routine from such a young age that they're used to from early teens, getting up at 4, 5 a.m. every single day, getting their morning practice done. It's just kind of ingrained in them. It's part of the culture, and then you just do it year and year and year. But I guess you can see why a lot of them burn out early. Like retirement at sort of 25 is pretty common, like 30 even's getting on a bit in the marathon. Because I guess when you've been taking it that serious for like 10, 15 years, you eventually hit a point where you're like, yeah, I'm tapping out. I just can't do this anymore. Now, as this video progresses, you'll probably see me getting more and more sweaty. I don't know if it's picking it up on camera, but I am dying out here. I always like to film my videos outside. It's way more interesting than just sat in my room, my little apartment back home. It's so unpleasant, this weather, so I might take a little breather, get inside, get some aircon on me. Now, I realized on camp how ridiculously clean I'd been eating. Everything was unprocessed. I hadn't even had a slice of bread in 2 weeks. It was rice, fish, meat and veg for 3 meals a day. It did feel class for running, but you've got to live a little sometimes. So I treated myself to this banging Thai burger to recharge before my next stint in the sauna. All right, we go again. I'm somewhat refreshed after that little breather. I feel like this is interval training here. Film for 10 minutes, 2-hour scran and coffee break, and then power on ahead. This is the real mental battle, just filming this video in the scorching Tokyo sun. But we were talking about the Japanese approach to training, and it's funny because when it comes to racing, it's the complete opposite. All that discipline, the marathon monk training, all of that, straight out the window. It's kamikaze style, all or nothing, let's go. It's one of the biggest mysteries, and it's one that I've been asking people for the last 2 years. I always ask the Japanese guys, why do they pace their races so aggressively? So if you've ever seen a race out here, then 99.9% of people will positive split, usually some pretty heavy positive splits. It's a painful end to every race, just clawing on as long as they can. And it basically just seems to be rooted in the culture. Everyone does it, so you have no choice but to just go with the train, jump on the Shinkansen, hold on as long as possible. It's one of the most frustrating things when I'm trying to run even splits, even negative. If I want to do that, then I'm going to be completely solo, because anyone I start off with, they'll have gone way too hard and they'll be dropping by like 5, 10K into a marathon. And you hear all of their coaches and team like screaming at the guys like, don't quit, don't give up, don't lose. It's basically just keep going, fight through the pain and just cling on as long as possible. But the thinking behind it, I guess, is when everything clicks and you get that day when just you feel incredible, it all comes together, that's when you annihilate your PB because you have the balls, the cojones to go with the pace. So if you'd have taken it conservative, gone off more steady, then maybe you wouldn't have those incredible days. But it means that races can be pretty hit or miss, and you see a lot of bodies in that last 10K of any Japanese marathon, just people walking along the side, like sat on the edge, that have just gone a little bit too hard, and they pay the price later on. But yeah, you got to respect it. It's a ballsy approach to racing. Now, what about my own psychotic training methods? What's the mindset behind those 250K weeks? So let's chat about that as I head out for my run, and I can show you before then my classic pre-run ritual. But I do the same routine before every single run just to loosen the legs up. And part of that involves using this weapon right here. It's next level, so it's the Bob & Brad C2 Pro massage gun. And what I like to do before heading out the door is just give my legs a good little 10-minute zap with this. It doesn't need long, but I find just doing that, those first couple Ks getting out the door are so much easier. And there's a bunch of attachments to choose from. But just like with the mini version, I said before, this hot and cold feature here is easily the coolest one. So pre-run right now, I'm just gonna whack it on the hot mode and then just smash my calves, quads, hip, glutes, all of that area. So just warm them up and then also just give a good little massage at the same time. Oh, it's a bit of a struggle. I've got it on 4 at the moment. Can go up to 5, but for the calves right here, oh, they're a bit tender. All right, we're bumping it up. Level 5, come on. Oh yeah. Pain is weakness leaving the body. So shout out Bob & Brad for hooking me up with this unit, and you can get 10% off using the link down below. But my legs are feeling much more refreshed after a good pummeling, and now it's time to unleash hell on those pavements. God, I've been absolutely knackered this first day back in Tokyo. I don't know if it's that extra heat and humidity just draining me, but I also had a big finish to the camp. So I said that I'd finished it off with those couple steady long runs, but I actually added in my own cheeky extra practice. So the team, I think, had finished. But I thought, I want to make the most of this cool weather up there before I head back to Tokyo. So I squeezed in one more set training day. So that's a hard session the day after a hard session, doubling up for that extra bit of fatigue accumulation. And I'd say I absolutely nailed that front because I am fully maxed out on the fatigue scale. The training load during that camp was absolutely monstrous. Now, in terms of my own mentality, I see people asking, like, how am I getting out there every day? Well, it's pretty simple, to be fair. The motivation is purely just to get as good as possible. So it doesn't matter if I'm tired or whatever, I'm always up for a run because I know if I miss it, I'm simply not going to get better. I also just love running. It's so part of the routine that getting out twice every single day, even if I'm a little bit tired before, I know once I'm running, it's happy days. In terms of what I'm actually thinking about though while I'm running, so if I'm just doing it easy, like today, just jogging, I'll have my earphones in, so I'll have a little podcast on the go. Ideally, I'd run run with people, yeah, I'd always take a little chat over a solo one. But believe it or not, it's actually a little bit tricky to find people to accompany you for 250k a week. But you know, anyone can jog along all day. That's just a battle against boredom rather than a mental onslaught. So how about pushing through pain and embracing the struggle? Now, when it comes to the hard days, the sessions, tempo runs, all of that kind of thing, then it's got to be raw dog. No music, no chatting. I can't have any distractions. I want to just be focused in, like be able to lock in on the pace and concentrate on that. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about, just each K at a time, like knock that one off, stay on pace for that, and not think, oh, jeez, I've still got an absolute monster of a session to come. And now we come to the final stage of mental warfare, and that is, of course, racing. It doesn't get harder than this. The pain cave gets entered every single target race. I know beforehand that I'm going to be in an absolute world of trouble. If we look at races like Tokyo Marathon, Fukuoka Marathon, I'm basically unconscious at the end. But in terms of actually how to push to that point, I don't really have an answer, to be honest, and I don't know if it's something that can be trained. So I'm not going to be like a guru trying to preach about, oh, you have to do this mind game, like you have to repeat these kind of mantras, man. Like, I find all that stuff so cringy. But all I'm going to say is, for me personally, I know that it's just short-term suffering, like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, however long you take. That's still nothing compared to the months and months of training you've put in. So if you quit on yourself, if you slow down, then all of that's just gone to waste. And that's what I'm telling myself during it. Like in the moment, I think it's so bad, so painful. All I'm thinking is I hate every single second of this. Like during Tokyo Marathon, I'm just begging it to stop. But a few hours later, a few days later, I'm going to be glad that I gave it absolutely everything instead of easing up slightly in the moment because, oh, it's a little bit sore. So for me, my next mental battle is surviving this week back in Tokyo before I can escape again to the mountains. I've got some big plans coming up, and hopefully the next video you see, I'll be nice and safe in that cool, dry mountain air back in the monastery. So plenty to look forward to. I'll catch you in the next one. This has been Jake with Run to Japan. Remember, train harder, not smarter. Whoosh.